This is a repeated theme. I think it's going to come up a lot in our talk, and it definitely comes up a lot in your writings, and it's the body as expressive modality. Um, you open with a quote from Sarah, a 10th grade English student. She says, "It's weird how much emotion you can show with just your body and no words." And this really coincides with Boal's phases of introducing theater of the oppressed, the focus on the body as expressive form. And also what I understand is central to image theater, which I'm kind of new to. How does using the body as cognitive catalyst allow for a lower threshold for a risk-free environment for all learners? And why is this so successful in getting individuals and groups to reveal their thinking?
So I'll try to ground my answer in the chapter and in the work that I was doing with this particular group of students. So I'll go back to who they are. So these students were they were all 10th and 11th grade, like that age, and they were all students who had struggled in very particular ways to be successful. Although they were quite bright, there was no reason necessarily that they would not have been successful in school, except that there were other circumstances that were prohibiting that in some way. And so I think in this case, we chose image theater, which is only one of Boal's modalities. He has several other ways of thinking about working. But we chose image theater because the students were quite verbal, generally, and they were pretty good at expressing themselves verbally. A lot of expressing displeasure in particular, discontent. And so we were interested to see what would happen if we asked them to observe themselves expressing some of the things that they were feeling or thinking without words, and then to add the language later. So the idea was that we would essentially sort of prime discussion or prime conversations about sort of phases of identity or elements of identity that they were working on as students within this particular setting, by asking them to represent some of the things that they were feeling or thinking, or situations. In some cases we even did like actual moments from their classroom. We thought that that would be a way to help them be more reflective and more conscious, and would ultimately give them language that they may not have had access to before. It would give them other words to begin to talk about some of the things that we thought were important to them if they were going to ultimately be successful. I should say that our sort of underlying theme for the work was success. That was a word that we were playing with in these workshops. Sort of how do we move toward it, and what was hindering them, or what was blocking them somehow from that.